Okay. Hey guys, so if you don't know me, my name is Miguel Martinez. My wife and I are the founders and directors of This Is Vida, and the directors, hosts, whatever you want to call it, of the Here I Am experience. The point of this podcast is for you to understand what happens behind the scenes on the field. And this specific one is super relevant, I think, for everyone that has gone or is about to go on a mission trip. I promise you, every question, everything that was said here, I've heard a million times in different ways. And it's not to say, well, it's always the same experience, but the feelings are very similar. So if you're struggling with a mission trip, if you're struggling with figuring out if you're called to go, or if you don't understand what the experience is about, I would highly suggest that you watch the entirety of this episode, because although it's about a year and a half old because life happens, and I'm sorry, um, this is extremely relevant and is kind of timeless, in my opinion, regardless of if you're doing medical ministry, construction, you're bringing fuel efficient stoves, water filtration systems. The experience is the same as long as we are sharing the gospel. A lot of the fears, a lot of the concerns, and a lot of praise reports are also the same. So you're gonna hear the before and the after of our friends here, and I'm super thankful for all of our friends from Lakeshore Church for that trip. It was our second to last trip in Guatemala before This Is Vida became a U.S. based ministry, taking care of missionaries and training them so we can spread the gospel better. At that time, we were in Guatemala doing pastoral ministry in the village of Bola de Oro. So anyway, that's my long intro. It's been over 2 minutes, so enjoy. Bye. Well, welcome guys. Welcome to the Here I Am experience. We're with Donna and Peter here. They've been missionaries for a long time. They'll tell you about it. But thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and watching. And just sit back, relax, and we're going to talk about ministry and honestly some real stuff. Yeah, some stuff that is very true. It might not be pretty, but it's true. Yeah. So why don't you guys tell us about yourselves? Not about ourselves. About yourselves.
You're Angela Miguel.
Yeah, I know.
They're amazing people.
They're here to interview us. Yeah. That's funny. This is how professional we are. This is how prepared we are. It's a great start to a podcast. I'm going to cut this.
Please keep it.
Yeah, I will.
This is awesome.
This is great content.
Oh my God.
I'm clearly prepared. Yeah, so what do you guys tell us about yourselves? Like, who are you guys? We know, but they don't. So.
Right. I'll let you start.
Oh, of course. Okay, well, I'm Donna.
Hey, Donna.
I have lived in Guatemala for 7 years now. Started visiting in 2011 and was helping with other missionaries that were doing like trauma counseling with kids. And then started doing the clinic aspect. When I came down for 3 months is when I met Peter. And he was terrified of me, intimidated by me, said he did not want to talk to me or sit beside me the whole entire week.
Do not understand, because I also knew you back in that time, and you're so cute and sweet. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to talk to her.
I can explain.
You better.
I have a grumpy cat face, and I can wear it very well sometimes.
I love that.
After working night shift, I was not able to sleep the whole entire night. And then meanwhile, in the morning, we were supposed to get on a bus for 12 hours to where we were going for the week for a medical mission trip. And meanwhile, yeah, I had the face of, I just want to get on the back and go to bed and leave me alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he was terrified of my face.
But the funny part was that one of our mutual friends, she was telling me all about this friend, aka Donna. And she's like, oh my gosh, she's an amazing person. She's so much fun. You're going to love her. Yeah, quotation marks, right? And I was like, oh, awesome. So I was like really hyped up to meet, my friend's friend. And so we gather the day that we were going to leave on this missions trip. And here comes Donna with like the glare of death. Like anyone in front of me, I will
Bad
murder.
timing.
Yeah. And so I was like, and then, Elizabeth, our friend, she goes running towards Donna and she's like, oh my God. And then we got into a circle to pray.
Yes.
And
before that, I was planning on going to introduce myself to you because you were the only one that I hadn't met yet. And meanwhile, the guy was like, let's get in a circle to pray. And I was like, all right, fine.
So then my prayer for that morning was, please, Lord, don't let me sit next to her. Please don't
Oh
let me
my
sit next to her.
god.
Literally,
like-
I was not kidding.
I want to sit like either in the front or the back of the bus, and her to be like the opposite. And it actually worked. She was all the way at the back. I was like all the way.
The
at
Lord
very,
heard your
very
prayer.
front. Yep. And so I was like, oh, perfect, because it was a 12-hour drive. you
3
know.
more hours. That's what we were told multiple
It was
times
a
throughout
dream.
this
Of
trip.
course.
3 more hours. But yeah. So that was my first impression of Donna.
That's amazing.
But
And
what,
And now we're married.
but what was your first impression of Peter?
All right,
Yeah,
so
that's
we're
true. I've never heard that. Oh, that's a good question.
some good dirt.
This will either go really well or really poorly.
Yeah.
All right, so this sounds creepy, which you actually know this,
That's a
and
great
you said
start.
it does sound creepy. But after the first clinic day,
But no, he wants to know the first impression.
The
like,
very
I'm sorry,
first
the very first
one.
moment that
You said I heard his
I mean,
prayer
he
and I
looked
don't
nice.
like it.
I don't know, like I didn't really have
she
much.
didn't have
Wait, no, when you saw him and went,
Okay, so after the first clinic day, and I found out that he does not do earwax well. And I
Like
was
you
the-
don't like earwax?
He does not.
or-
Who does?
That's such a random thing.
So I was the mean one. We were cleaning out ears like crazy. So I was the mean one that'd be like, "Hey, Peter, can you help me?" He's like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." And I'm like, "Can you go dump out this nasty water?" And he's like, "Okay."
Bless
She would give
you.
like, the worst
That's-
test.
You're
My
like, she hates
personality.
me.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is such a relatable story.
this is ER nurse at its best here. I mean, that's just how we are. Anyway, but no, so after the first clinic day, him and Elizabeth were talking, and the one person on the team was like, "Oh, I could see those two being like, a thing." And I was like, "Oh no, they're just friends." And in my head, the thought came through, he's gonna be mine.
Oh my god.
I know, and I hadn't even like talked to him yet.
We haven't even talked at that point.
No. And then it wasn't
Donna was like, that one.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't
Fine.
until like 3/4 of the way through the week, we're standing in a line to go to the bathroom in this like outhouse in the middle of nowhere. And he's like, "I have a confession to make." And I was like, "All right." He's like, "So at first I was really intimidated by you, but now you're an okay person." Okay.
I respect that.
Oh my
It's true.
gosh.
Yeah.
I did say that.
Okay, and so you guys have been married for how long now?
6 years now.
6 years after the whole earwax experience and Grumpy Cat. 6
Yep.
years. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
I lived here for almost a whole year before we got married.
Yeah, we were
Um,
at that point. We were doing ministry together, so we did ministry together for about a year, trying to take care of
6 teenagers because
Wow.
we're nuts.
Yeah, the first thing, right? The first
Yeah.
thing we do.
1
is-
month after I move in, the first 2 kids move in.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is quite the way to start a marriage for sure.
Yeah. And then 2 weeks later, I get dengue. That was fun.
That is super fun.
No,
And had lice for the first time ever in my life because of the kids that moved in with us. It
Yeah.
Wow.
was a fun time.
That is some fun times. And so, okay, so tell us a bit about what you guys do. You guys do ministry together. What does that look like for you guys?
All right, so we run a medical clinic ministry, basically. We work in Rio Dulce, which is a 6-hour drive away from Guatemala City, going north. And so we serve 13 communities,
Mhm.
correct? Yeah. So 13 villages around the riverbank, Rio Dulce. And then 10 of those communities come to our clinic base. And then we go out about an hour and a half, depending on how bad the current is and the weather and all that. We go into the jungle, basically, and there we serve the other 3 communities. There's like a little clinic that one of the villages built, and so that's the space that we use. Besides the medical clinics, we do a sports program with teenagers and younger kids. We have an all-girls Bible study.
Mhm.
We have an art program, and I'm forgetting one. Oh, health class for kids.
Mhm.
Also, yeah.
That's
So that's what we're doing.
And your ministry is called.
Impacting one life at a time.
There we go. Yeah, it's not Donna and Peter.
It's not Donna and
Yeah,
Peter.
it's not.
No, definitely not.
As you can tell, our worst thing to do is speaking about ourselves. Talking about ministry is like,
Yeah.
well, this is what I do. Yeah, I can be very confident. Like you ask me about a Marvel movie, I'm gonna be like, okay, sit down, let me lay it out for you. So what do you do? Well, I pray, and I see Catalina. She's pretty cool. That's awesome. You guys have been doing that. Like that ministry has existed for how long?
Well, we have been doing ministry for the 7 years that I've been here. You and your mom had done ministry before.
Yeah.
But in Rio, where we are now, has been since the end of 2020 when we went up during hurricanes to do clinics, and we were crazy, and everyone told us not to go.
But we went anyway.
But we went, and now here we are 4 years later, still there. So
That's awesome. Yeah. Where are you guys from? Because people will think you're American.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
he gets asked all the time.
Chapin. Chapin is Guatemalan. Yeah.
Just so you know. It's
Yeah, Guatemala. They're like, they're gonna be Googling, where's Chapin? Where's Chapin? Chapinlandia.
I'm Guatemalan.
We should do a business trip to Chapin. I'm sorry. Where do you grow up?
Well, the first 4 years of my life were in San Lucas, 10 minutes away out from Antigua area. And then my family moved to this other place called Palin in Escuintla. And that's where my parents were doing mission work for most of my life. I lived there until I was 18. Then I moved out, moved to the city, Guatemala City, finished college and did, like different types of jobs there. And then after a couple of years, then I went back to Pauline to help my mom, who was still working with, not doing full-time ministry, but she would still do like Sunday school class with the kids and all that. So I went back to help for a little bit. And then short after that, I met Donna.
And you had a youth group.
And yeah, we had a youth group. We would meet once a week, Thursday nights, I believe. Yeah.
It was the only night that the church beside
Literally,
the house
right beside my mom's
did not have
house.
service.
Oh my gosh.
Because
Yeah.
it's quite loud.
Yeah.
Everyone loves their speakers
if
here.
it was in Escuintla, you don't know, but if it was in Escuintla, yeah, it's not quiet.
No.
I don't think you can do ministry in Escuintla and just be calm and collected.
Yeah.
No, not at
You
all.
cannot be a calm pastor in Escuintla. You have to bring the fire. What is it? Fire and
Brimstone.
brimstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not yelling, people will not listen.
That's not the gospel.
Yeah.
No, you have to yell it. So if you're a pastor and you don't yell, I don't know what you're preaching. Someone's gonna take this seriously and be like, Miguel says. They're gonna turn this into a doctrine thing.
Oh my god.
You also need lots of bombas.
Lots of bombas.
Yes.
Lots
Yeah.
of bombas.
The
Yeah.
louder, the better.
Yeah.
4 a.m.
Fireworks.
on Easter.
Yeah, not actual.
No
bombs.
actual bombs.
Peter, please tell your story about that with the team.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so one time we had this group of people from California, and they came. They were just here for a couple of days, but the first thing that they heard was the Catholic Church doing their fireworks, and so one of the guys in the team quickly got startled and looks at me and he's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's just the bombs."
Right, because that's how it's translated in English.
Yeah.
It's just the bombs.
And then he's like, "What?" And then panicking and everything. And then I'm like, no, fireworks.
Right. I similarly had an experience. I had a team at the Guatemala City dump, and that area is just not really great. And somebody was lighting off firecrackers, and my team thought they were being shot at. And so they all come running in the house, and I'm standing there very confused. They're all panicking, and I'm all calm. And I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. They're like, they're shooting at us. I was like, oh no, it's just firecrackers. They're celebrating something. Everything's fine. It's great. Yeah, the differences of culture.
No. I had a team of firemen when I was working in an orphanage. And when we had teams, usually we would spend the night because it was easier. And my friend and I were like, hey, we should prank them because they seem like cool guys. We should prank them. So we bought firecrackers and bombas, and we asked for permission so the kids wouldn't think they're being shot at. And we started lighting them up at 2 a.m. We forgot they were firemen. Uh-oh. It was the most anticlimactic thing. They just come out of the rooms and they start going like this. Okay. And they just go inside. It was the most lame, expensive, stupid joke I've ever pulled. I was like, okay, this was stupid.
That's funny.
So
All of that to say, Peter is from here.
Yes.
Yeah, he just has a great accent. Yeah, but like,
Yep.
okay, so you make me sound like I'm from the village.
No.
You know? But okay, so Donna, you're clearly not from here.
I am from Pennsylvania.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I don't
Well, that
know.
was it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
I grew up on a dairy farm.
There you go.
Worked 7 years night shift at an emergency department / trauma center, and
Yeah.
now I'm here.
So for how long were you a nurse? You were also a nurse in the States, or?
Yes, I was
For
a
how
nurse
long?
in the States for 7.5 years before moving.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the hard questions. What makes you work as a nurse in the States, get your paycheck, get your benefits, all those things, and then say, okay, you know what? I want to do that in a village in Guatemala, but not get paid, not get benefits, and I have to message people individually to get my paycheck.
Well, the raw answer would be entitlement. No. Well,
I think we're gonna be done here.
actually, yes. Anyone who works in healthcare will tell you, and probably customer service and everything, they will tell you that entitlement is a big problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, so I had come down, like I had mentioned before, and was doing mission trips and stuff. And I was able to just, it just opens your eyes to a different need. There's a big need in the States too. But I mean, like, especially right now where we're working, closest like hospital clinic is 45 minutes away by motorboat. If you don't have a motorboat, you're ish coming.
Yeah.
That means dead.
Dead.
Now they're gonna be like, we should also go to Ishkamik.
No, you don't want to.
You should not go.
Do you know Jesus?
Then go. Go away.
But and then also like the 3 villages that we go back to, I mean, it would be like at least an hour and a half, also by motorboat, which most people do not have.
No.
So we're hearing stories of women getting carried on their like men's backs that are in labor. I mean, doesn't that just sound like a fun time? Walking through the village, getting on a boat, and baby and mom are dying on boats. Like there's no healthcare there.
Yeah.
And it's just the more, which is actually, this part is like a little hard as well if you are a missionary. The more you're here, the more you see,
Yeah.
the more need there is. And obviously you are not here to save everyone. You can't do that. So what God has just been teaching me over these years is just whoever he puts in front of you, that's who you focus on. Because I mean, there's tons of people everywhere who need medical care, that need help in any way, shape, or form. You know, need food. Malnutrition's like a huge thing here. Need clean water. Diarrhea is a huge thing here.
Yeah.
That's like one of the number one killer of babies that we see. And so, just being able to try to be there for the people that God puts in front of your path, whether it's one person or whether it's 600 at a clinic.
Yeah.
That's who you're going to focus on.
Yeah. It's really easy
So that was
to.
the big thing of why I decided to move.
Yeah, it's really easy to get just focused and on the numbers. Just being like, well, we only helped 60 people today, and 60 is a lot, but when you compare it to going to a hospital or in the States, it's nothing. Like, can you imagine going to a hospital in the States and saying, yeah, they only took care of 60 people today?
That would be an easy day. We saw 350 to 500 in a 24-hour period at our emergency room.
Yeah.
wow.
But what you're saying is also very true. I was very thankful that at the beginning of my ministry life, one of the best advices, it was the hardest one to accept, was just because you see a need doesn't mean it's your job to fulfill it.
Yeah.
Because it's really easy when you start to be like, there's orphans, there's people, what do they call them now? It's not homeless, it's houseless or whatever. There is people that are sick, there's widows, there's all these things. Like, let's do it all. And very quickly you get burned out. I think only burnout will teach you that that's not your job.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's something that we are definitely learning right now too, as well. Like continuing to learn
Yeah, it's been a
is
process
when to
for
say
years.
yes, when to say no, when to say not right now. And that's actually something when I was in Uganda for 3 weeks right before I moved here. That we were told, do not give money, do not give anything. Just be like, I will pray for you. God is your provider. If you really feel like God is telling you that we should buy groceries for this person or whatever, come talk to the leaders. Don't take it upon yourself to go, because they're like, honestly, they'll probably sell it. And so, I mean, same thing was happening here with the meds. Like, there was a lady who she would come and all of a sudden she had every ailment under the sun. We would give her the meds that she needed, and she's out on the street corner selling them.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just, that finding that balance of like, really going to God and saying, when should I say yes? When should I say no? And I'm sorry, we can't help us. We can't help you, but God is your provider. God is your healer. And we're going to pray.
And how hard was like that transition for you moving from the States, coming down here? Like obviously you had been here before, but it's a different experience when you move here full time. Like what was that experience like for you?
I would look at him many times and just go, I'm crazy. And he would say, yes, you are.
I like how you said it in past tense. Like that doesn't happen anymore.
Not as often.
Yeah. But I mean, literally, I would probably look at him, I don't know, like once a week, and I'd just go, I'm crazy. Like, I literally packed up all my crap in these ginormous boxes, shipped them here, sold everything else, and here I am.
Yeah, I feel like at least once a week she would have like a little panic attack. You know,
fairly so, yeah.
Yeah, because like at least for me, you know, I've been born and raised here. I didn't have to leave my country, my family, like all that. And then, you know, I was trying to like to be supportive. I would try to put myself in her shoes and try to be like, okay, what would it be like for me, you know, if I had to do that? So I think the first couple months it was a bit of a struggle for her for sure.
Also, it was Pauline, which is sketch.
Yeah, so she comes from, you know, like the US and this like nicer neighborhood, or, you know, and then
well, Reading wasn't, but
well, Reading specifically wasn't, but you know where you
I had
living,
a car,
you
you
know.
just stay in your car.
So I guess in that sort of situation Pauline wasn't that big of a
Well,
change.
you did tell me, he's like, you do realize you're moving to a town, you will be the only white girl. And it's like, you know, super dangerous, and it's a very small town, and they're all very like chute, like everyone knows everyone's business. And I was like, oh, so it's like the town that I grew up in, everyone knows everyone's business. And Reading, where I was working, which is not safe at all. But it was, I mean, I don't know. I guess I ignored it. I got used to, so, I mean, people at work give you death look all the time. You're out there in the waiting room yelling. There's like 500 people out there. All right, not 500. At least 100 plus family.
Yeah.
And so you're out there, you yell a name, and everyone's mad it's not their name to go back because they've been waiting for hours and hours. And so I got used to just ignoring people. And so we would go to the market, and he's like, how do you do it? You're just walking and just walk past, and everyone's staring. Like, mouths are dropping open because it's like, who's this white chick here in town? But I
wears glasses.
But I don't know. I just like ignored it. I think working at Reading helped toughen me up.
Apparently.
Also, for context, chute means nosy.
Yes.
This is gonna be the slang podcast.
Yes. The like two slang that I ever use.
Ich kann mich chute.
Yeah.
That's all Donna says.
Yep.
That's all she says.
That's very
Just
true.
kidding.
Good flex.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really real, because I think people really underestimate how moving is going to affect them. Because when you come on a shortened trip, on a shortened mission trip, and you come from Saturday to Saturday, you're like, I wish I could live here. Like, okay, so if you're ready to leave your family and leave your job and your security and your 401k and all those things, at least for a while, and go live where you don't speak the language, you don't have community, you don't have a church, you don't have mom and dad, you don't have any kind of safety net. Sure, go. And I think to people outside, it sounds like an adventure. The ones you're in it is like, what are we doing again? Like, I was just talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, man, you fundraise for a living? Yeah. How much of your salary is fundraised? 100%. That's awesome. And I remember, I was like, what's awesome about that? And he was very taken back. And I was like, what do you mean it's awesome? He said, well, you live by faith. I'm like, okay, sure, I do trust God that he will provide. But I think all of us, you guys more or less, I don't know, but we lose between 6 and 8 supporters a year. Just because people get married, people get divorced, people die, people get sick, people retire. I'm like, that money's not just gonna come. It would be awesome if it did, but that money's not gonna come. So how's fundraising for you guys? Like, how do you guys feel about fundraising?
I cry a lot. I panic a lot.
Do you relate to that?
Very, very much so. That's literally me like 3 times a month. I'm like, oh my gosh, nothing's ever going to work. And he's like, God's got us. I'm like, I know, but it's so hard.
That's literally us.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Well, one of us has to be like calm.
Right?
Yeah.
Every now and then we do freak out. Inside, we're like, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we have to keep a safe face.
It's true. At least somebody in the relationship has to be calm while the other one's freaking out, and then you can switch places. But yeah, that's
Which
we
also
feel
do.
it.
Sometimes I freak out. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, calm down.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Chill.
I don't know. We still have food in the house.
Yeah, there's a can of soup.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been times when we had the 6 kids living with us, we were down to our last like packet of like spaghetti noodles, and I'm like, spaghetti it
We're
is.
literally counting coins.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's, yeah.
Saving up
scary,
that
yeah.
change helps, man.
Yeah. And it's hard because unlike any other job, like your salary is coming next
Yep.
month. But when you're in ministry, people are still waiting for you. They kind of become dependent on you because in one way or another, you're kind of like their pastor, but you're not getting money, but you're still expected to keep going.
Yep.
And I feel like most people's answer is, well, keep praying, God. I mean, I hate this. I understand it's true, but it's not a consolation when people tell you, well, if you're getting attacked, it's because you're doing something right. I'm like, okay,
I hate when people say
sure,
that.
okay, so
That's the worst thing you
so
can
I'm
tell
hungry, but sure,
Yeah.
yeah. Or any of you can help.
Right.
Yeah.
And you cannot just say that because you sound greedy.
Yeah.
So you're in this limbo of, well, I'm gonna keep going, but I don't know what I'm doing, and
And it's hard because I think a lot of people think, oh, my $20 doesn't do anything. Or my $5 even doesn't do anything. And on an average, we figured it out for clinic, roughly $5 will get the meds for one patient at least. So it's like, that's obviously there's some people that need way more and there's some that need less. And then, kids that need surgery and, whatever, obviously that's like more and that's not even included. But like, $20 does do a lot.
yeah,
And I think right now, especially with like the economy is really tight for everyone. Like I know money's like prices are going up in the States, prices are going up here too. And so it's just, it's really hard. And it's like, you just keep praying and praying and praying. It's just like, all right, God, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's hard.
I think it's important for people to remember too that like no matter what your financial situation is, like you can still be a blessing to somebody else. Like you were saying, like $5 can cover so much. And like if 10 people each give $5, like that's, tank of gas and like, you're getting places, that's groceries, like all of that kind of stuff. And I think it's really easy to discount ourselves when we're like, well, I don't really have much to give, so maybe I won't. And it's like, but even if it's not much, like it's the story of the lady with her coins and that like, even though it looked like little, like she's the one that came and gave the most. And like, I think that's where like we have to remember that even if it feels like little, it can be so much because it's all the Lord's money anyway. And like it's kingdom anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. I think we're gonna jump into the hot takes. Because since we're flowing that way, because my hot take, I'll tell you guys one of mine. I wasn't going to share one, but I think it's right on topic. Is people that cannot commit to $5 a month should not come on a mission trip. Because I think your week helps, but it helps for 1 week.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're coming, you should come already thinking, okay, in my budget, I make $40,000 a year. You can commit $5 a month. Because if you think about it, for most people, it's like, well, it's nothing. No, it's not nothing. Because if all of you committed $5 a month, we wouldn't have to fundraise for projects.
Yep.
Right.
Maybe every now and then we will fundraise for a building, something really big. But in your specific case, you wouldn't have to fundraise for meds, like you were saying, or at least most meds.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to fundraise for gas, tires, car fixes. I mean, you guys know about fixing
boat.
cars.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, the boat, all those things, like translators for when teams are here.
Yep.
Like it would be so easy if everyone committed $5 a month, because that's actually real help.
Yeah.
That's my hot take. If you guys disagree or not.
No, it's totally true.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've talked about this so many times. We're like, oh my word, if say 500 people saw your post about needing to help, I don't know, pay for something, help with surgery for a kid or something, and it's like if 500 people would give the $10, like we'd pay for the surgery, But it's like people are like, oh well, I don't have 1,000 to give, or whatever, or just throwing out numbers.
No, for sure, yeah.
But that is so true. Like, you're coming on a mission trip to help somebody who is here on the ground doing the work day in and day out, and not just, oh, I'm coming for a week or two. So yeah, like, why can't you give $5? Or if you literally are broke, then like share about our ministry with other people. help spread the word, because the more people that know, the more
Yeah.
people that can pray, the more people that might want to be able to partner, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's a really good point.
Yeah. It's funny because people, I think they understand that a little bit more after coming on a trip. Because after we have shortened trips, we do debrief, and we're like, what was the hardest thing? They're like, well, why couldn't we just send the money instead of coming? I'm like, because you wouldn't have given it unless you came.
You need to see with your eyes the,
Exactly.
the need and
Yeah, because
what you see here.
Are shortened teams financially efficient? No. They're not financially efficient. If it was just about the money, yeah, never come. not one of you. But
Yeah.
the more you're here, I mean, what do you say? The more you're here.
Yeah, that the longer that you're like on the field serving, the smaller your circle of people is. And like I've been here for 10 years now. And I feel like my circle of people to like ask to be a part of things is getting smaller and smaller as the years go on, because you're just not meeting as many new people. And the people that you are meeting are locals here, the people that you're here to serve. And so it does become really difficult of like, yeah, there's all of these needs and I would love to get people involved, but like my circle is small. And so even with what you're saying of like, if you can't be a part of it because you're like financially right now, I just can't do it, totally, but share the word, because we've had people connect us with other people. And that's been huge, because it's like, oh my gosh, like now these people that we would have never met are excited to be part of our circle, excited to be part of what God's doing here. And that's really awesome. And it took, 5 minutes of sharing a story of, yeah, when I was in Guatemala, I saw X, Y, and Z, and Donna and Peter doing this great thing. Hey, you should connect with them. Like, it's so simple. And then it gets the word out there of like what you're doing and like how people can get involved. And that's so important. So like, yeah, even if people can't give, like advocate. Advocacy is such an important thing that I feel like a lot of people don't realize how beneficial that is and like how needed it is. And like sometimes it's needed more than, hey, I can't give anything. You're like, okay, great. But like advocate, because that is so, so, so important. Yeah.
So that was my hot take. Yeah, what's yours?
You want to go?
Sure. Like, well, talking about, short-term mission trips, one of the things that I've like come to learn is, having the right mentality and the right heart when you go on a short-term missions trip, because a lot of the times that we've had, not everybody, but some of the teams, you end up, I mean, like us as, full-time ministry here, you end up serving the team that comes instead of, it being the other way around. Like the team that's coming, like they're supposed to like come to help and serve the ministry along with the local people. And it's just, it's exhausting. B, it's not really what you're supposed to be doing as a short-term ministry. And a lot of times it's really hard because, you're like us, we're trying to serve the team, trying to make sure that everything's, well with them. But at the same time, we have a full-time job here. We have to serve the people here. We have things to do, and so
We have staff. It's not just us.
Yeah.
and so like we're trying to involve this team that's coming to help, but sometimes it ends up being like I said, us serving them instead of like them coming here to serve, not us particularly or specifically, but the people. It's like it's complicated, but it kind of becomes like a burden in a way, So just throwing that out there for people that are thinking of going on a short-term mission trip, to actually know where your heart is at and what your expectations of it is. If it's more like, oh, I want to go because, it'll be cool to get out of the country and like go somewhere new and like take pictures and selfies and, just like have this experience, don't do it. Go on a vacation with your friends, go somewhere else where, you're going to have like a nice time and stuff.
Yeah.
But if your heart really is for serving other people and actually, wanting to let God use you in a way that could, potentially become something even more on the long run, then do that. But just like being mindful of that, and for the ministry that you're going to go serve, like actually be able to serve them, you know?
Yeah.
And I think for
That's
me too, like
interesting.
we've had most of our people that have come have been medical, since clinic is one of the big focuses that we do have here. And you know, there's some people that are great, they're wonderful, they're flexible, and they're like, I don't care if we see one person today or if we end up seeing 200. And then there's other people who it's about the numbers, and they get really upset when it rains up there and people aren't going to go out because, oh my word, I'm going to die. You know, because Guatemalans don't like getting wet.
That is true. I will say that is true. But you also have to realize, like,
They are on a river in these
they're-
tiny little canoes, and I get it. No, I'm kidding.
And
Yeah, those babies.
walking through the muddy jungles, you know, because it's basically a storm every time it rains.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
people are not going to
I'm
walk
being
in 3
sarcastic.
hours.
But that's funny. But you're not wrong depending on the area, because I'm from Coban, which is basically Seattle weather. So I'm used to be just going outside walking. I'm like, so it's water.
Yeah.
Where here in Antigua and in Chimaltenango, you will think people are gonna melt.
Yes.
Yeah, they start
Starts to
running.
sprinkle,
Like,
and everyone's like
Runs.
runs. and
I
hides.
love driving in the rain, and it's just like, are you crazy? I'm like, everyone's gone.
Yeah.
They all went home when they're getting a coffee. Like they're so scared of getting wet. Yeah, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. But yeah.
More so for me, it's that I don't like when the roads flood. That's
Yes.
why I don't like being out driving in the rain. I don't mind being out like getting wet in the rain. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But it's when the roads start to flood, I'm like, this makes me so uncomfortable. I don't like it.
No, we've been in the river when it's been raining hardcore, and he's had to drive, so he doesn't get to hide under a tarp. So no, I get it. I'm just
And I'm like trying to see and driving the boat, and I'm like, oh, I hope I don't hit a log or something.
Yeah.
literally a whole tree.
Normal, relatable stuff. Yeah.
But no, like what I'm basically getting at is that some people, because Americans generally don't care if they get wet, and so they're always like, why didn't they come to clinic if they're so sick and blah blah blah. Well, if their kid has a fever and they've already snotty, are you going to get on a boat in pelting rain on
Correct,
this little
yeah.
canoe and you might end up flipping it? Like, no, it's not worth it. So sometimes clinic is only a couple people and other times it's a ton. But the people that come and they get really bent out of shape when they don't get to see the numbers because they just want to go home and basically brag about like, oh, we saw 600 people in a week and blah, blah, blah. Instead of like, oh, well, we saw 30 because the weather was crazy. But I really got to, you know, be able to spend one-on-one time and talk to them and not just like a factory kicking patients out, but actually be able to like talk to them.
I think that's like such a good point of like checking your heart before you go on a trip, because I feel like even as missionaries, like that's a constant thing that we have to do is like checking our hearts of like, okay, are we here because the people are worth it and we love them? Or also in our hearts, sometimes it can become about the numbers. We're like, man, we've only seen like 6 people this week. Like, are we doing enough? And it's like, but did we have a quality conversation with those 6 people? Do they feel loved? Do they feel cared for? Like, absolutely, then that was worth it.
Yeah.
But I think it is an important thing that, you know, like you were saying, like if you're thinking about going on a trip, like really do check your heart before going on a trip. And I think that's wise for all of us. Like each day, I feel like before we step into ministry, it's like, am I checking my heart to see like, am I in a good place today? Like, am I really doing this for the Lord, or am I doing this for myself today? And I think it is such an important thing to do each and every day, just as Christians, but also, yeah, like you said, before going on a trip.
Yeah. Was that your hot take?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Do you have a hot take today?
I don't think so.
Do you have a cold take? that was such a dumb joke. I appreciate you guys laughing, but that was stupid.
It's like, I don't know how to answer this.
I was going to laugh.
Yeah, you can see Peter going, I'm not making us Guatemalans look good. That's funny. No, what was I gonna ask? Okay, so you guys got married 2016, 2017?
17.
17. So you guys are married for a year longer than we are, because we got married February 2018. So what is it like to be on a mixed
Oh, wait, no, we're
marriage?
I'm like, you guys got married the month before us. What in the world?
Oh,
I
really?
moved in 2017. We got married in
Okay.
2018.
There you
Here
go.
I'm going like, yeah, sure.
He
I
doesn't
really got the
remember
dates.
dates
You guys should
well.
have gone with it. Just I wouldn't know. So yeah,
I'm like-
it's not like they're gonna check the records. Like I don't know.
Go back on their Instagram.
They're like no.
Oh my
Yeah, but
No, 2018. We got married a month after you all, or a couple weeks after
Okay,
you
so
guys.
6 years. Yeah, going
Yeah.
on 7 soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it like to be in a mixed marriage? Because it's not the same. I think people tend to either not think about it at all, or they overthink about it. Like they think that we're going through racism every single day of our lives, which is also not true.
Yeah.
No. So what is it like for you guys to be in a mixed relationship? Because also you're in a mixed relationship in a place where it's very evident. I feel like in the States, maybe no one would think about it twice, or at least most people. But here it's very like, oh, look at that brown guy with the white girl, or something like that. And you guys are a ministry as well, which means that whether we like it or not, we're public figures. So what is it like for you guys?
I'll let you go first.
I think, I don't know, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, the most like cultural clash we had was planning the wedding.
That is true.
This is gonna get good. This is gonna get really good. This is good content. Just go.
Honestly,
I'm gonna
I
leave the
let
microphone
him.
here.
He's like the decorator. He
More
him
like
and
organizer.
his him and his mom like think about those
He's
things.
like, get the term
For
right.
me, it was more the people that could be there. So
Yeah.
I really struggled with like there were a lot of people that couldn't make the trip or didn't make the trip or whatever. And so I think for me that was like the big struggle. The most that I can remember really is like the head table. I didn't know it was a thing here that like your parents sit beside you, which I'm like, I could barely get my parents on a plane to come down, let alone sit in front of everyone.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, no, I want the bridesmaids and the groomsmen. And then that's what we went with. And I feel bad because he literally sat by himself. Granted, it was most of the kids that were with us, so they just like pieced out. But yeah, and then meanwhile, like all my bridesmaids were there because like most of them were American minus Elizabeth. So like they knew that that's what you do. So I think that was like probably, at least that I can remember, more of like the most like cultural. Otherwise, I feel like, your stepdad was American. You were around teams. So I feel like that, and you obviously know English very well. So I think that really helped kind of give a jump start to not make it as difficult.
Yeah, I think beside the fact of the wedding day, apparently that was a big thing. I didn't know until today. No, just kidding.
You were upset about it. Clearly, you have moved on.
I
But
have moved on. I have buried it in the past. Now
you
There
did
you
tell
go.
me you were not doing the bell.
the
What?
bell.
The what?
The Guatemalan bell thing with like the beans and the rice or whatever. You were
Oh,
like,
yeah,
we
a
are
lot
not
of-
doing
a lot
that.
Of weddings. This is more like rural, maybe weddings. I don't know, but like when you walk out the aisle at the end, there's like a little bell that you pull the string, and usually it's full of like rice or beans or whatever.
Okay.
So that's like
For prosperity.
Yeah, I knew that. I just lost brown points.
You just lost travel.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm ready for my loan and my 401k.
But no, I think being like talking about like oh my goodness, I just went blank. Cultures, thank God. My brain works. No, just culturally speaking, I think it wasn't that big of a shock for us. Now I have to do like clear or say this. I've never actually been to the States. I've always been here, and my stepdad was American. He married my mom when I was 4 years old. So in my house, growing, it was more of a cultural shock for me growing up with an American stepdad because growing up, I wasn't allowed to hang out with like local neighbors or things like that, and just like hang out with friends and all that. Because my dad was like super strict, and he was basically the only like white person in town, and because of that, he was also like a military veteran, so he was very like paranoid about a lot of things. And because he was the only white person and they were doing ministry, a lot of people would come to our door asking for like help, money, blah blah blah, whatever. So he also thought that if I was out like on the street playing or something, like something could happen or whatever, like, because especially back in the day, like Pauline area was like a red zone, it was like super dangerous and everything. So I didn't really get to connect with a lot of like my friends or whatever, neighbors and stuff. So I was kind of like raised in this like American bubble, which to me now, looking back at it, wasn't the right way or wouldn't have been the right way, but like I can't change the past. So, excuse me. So when it came to getting married and everything, there was just like a lot of things that were kind of like normal for me, you know, in a way.
Yeah.
So I think it wasn't that hard of a cultural clash per se. But I think then after we got married, then it was harder for me because now I have to kind of like be careful that I have like a white spouse, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then going into villages and stuff like that, now I have to have like that extra, you know, like sense of like, you know, kind of security and things like that. And also, you know, like I have heard comments from like friends and even family members that have been a little more like, oh yeah, well, he's married with, you know, a gringa, you know, like,
Yeah.
so that's
And they go,
been-
ew.
so then that's been a little
Meanwhile,
bit
we're broke like everybody else, though.
No, but that's very true. Like most people assume that you
Yeah.
guys are sugar mamas.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
true. Like they're like, oh yeah. So for example, I've decided to cut out friends because that's all they could talk about. It's I mean, so you're going to the States, you're rich. I'm like, okay, you should be quiet now.
Yeah.
And
All our
that's
money has gone into ministry.
Yeah,
Trust me.
but it also, for one, you should never talk about those things with
Yeah.
people that you barely know. No.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no,
It-
we don't talk about that.
No.
No.
But I'm saying it's weird when people that don't know you come and they like, I'm sure it happens to you in the villages because that's where it happens the most to us. It's, oh yeah, so you guys must be loaded. And I'm like, she's just white.
Yeah.
She lives here too.
She looks like a lobster in the sun.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, but
Me
it's,
too.
it's like, sure, maybe we have a little bit more than you, but also you live in a village. Like, it's just what it is. However, you are richer than us in other things, and it's also, I never noticed how money driven everyone is. Like, I don't care about the country. Like, we were all money driven, or we are, until getting married and noticing how much it comes up. Because it's one thing when we talk about fundraising because it's something that such a small circle understands. So if I get to talk about it with someone that understands, I will. But I was never approached by people like asking me, hey, how much do you spend for this? I'm like, none of your business. How much was your car? None of your business. Yeah. So that's always really interesting that, okay, so the moment we're married, like if we go to the market with our wives, they have to stay behind.
He literally has told
Yeah.
me, stand around the corner, wait,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask her a price, and then you can come back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's normal.
Yep.
But I
I wish it
understand. Yeah.
wasn't, but it is.
Yeah.
It's the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's always like refreshing when we find someone like like a mechanic or someone that is willing to do work on the car. It's like, oh, you're gonna charge me a normal price. You do
You're gonna
not
be
care that she's
honest.
American. Yeah, awesome. Which is so hard to find.
Yes.
Very hard.
Yeah, our mechanic, we're so blessed because he lived in the States. So he's so not impressed at all. Yeah, it's really great. The other thing is, it's weird to have so many people notice you. Like, I'm sure for you guys, it was, I don't know if it still is, odd when people look at you on the street.
Even yesterday, this happened where we were walking back from like someplace in Antigua, and I noticed this guy like standing in the doorway of like a shop or whatever, and I'm like, walking down the street, whatever, and he like looks me up and down. Like, it was like so dramatic, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, that's my husband right there. But like, it still just happens because you're different. And I was like, I definitely thought we were like past these days. Like, I remember being single and that happening a lot. And I was like, well, I was walking by myself. Like, I guess that makes sense. But like walking like right there with my husband, and I was like, this is so weird. Like, it's just, it's interesting when you are different and it is pointed out, like in that moment where you're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm evidently different in this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just such a wild time of life.
When we had the kids living with us, we took them to go visit their grandparents, I think for Easter or something. And they live so far, like in the middle of nowhere, down near the coast, that they like whispered to each other, it's almost like she's white. So like, I'm pretty sure they have not seen a white person before, and they weren't really sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still times. I feel like the villages are getting to know us more.
Yeah.
But I still get asked at clinics sometimes, like back in Creek Cali, like where we have to like go further in the jungle.
Yeah.
And they're like, so how long have you, like, are you here? Like, for like a week or, and I'm like, I've lived here for 7 years. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, they just assume that I'm a visitor coming down to see them and then I'm leaving again.
Yeah. We gathered in our village for the first 2 years. Like, we've been there for 4 years going on 5. In the first 2 years, it was just straight up so when are you leaving? And it was to her. But then, I mean, I'm a bigger person. I'm taller. Everyone here is like, sorry, Peter.
Like me.
Sorry.
Everyone here is like me.
I started saying my sentences like, oh, Peter's short. But everyone here is shorter. I'm bigger. I'm speaking English all day. Like, I'm sure it happens to you. Like, people here speak English. They're like, oh, he's American.
Yep.
So in our village, I've gotten the gringo juguete, which means toy. And I'm like, I'm by myself. Like, what? Who told you I'm a gringo? They just know. It's like it's a chip. Like, gringo means I'm gonna ask for things. Yeah, were you gonna say something?
Yeah. Well, I was just going to ask, like, speaking of, like, your villages and stuff, like, you guys have made the decision to not live in your village. Can you guys just speak to that a little bit? Because I feel like a lot of times people just assume, like, oh, you're the missionary there. You live right there in that village. Can you just share with us a bit about that?
100% burnout, number one.
Yeah.
When we lived in Pauline for the first year that I was there, we had said patients can come, if you're like truly sick, dying, whatever, doesn't matter the hour. Well, people were knocking on the door at midnight for the sniffles. And like, I sneezed once and it's like, okay. And even youth group and kids club, like I literally never got a day off because patients would come during kids club, during, the youth group. And then even when we moved away, there were times they would literally like stand around the corner waiting to see when our car would come. So he would start going down to visit his mom without me because he's like, well, then all the patients are going to come. Like you're literally never going to get a break.
Yeah.
There were times we literally would like rent a room or like a couple rooms or whatever for us and all the kids in Antigua just to go away for like a night.
Yeah.
Because it was just burnout. It was just too much.
Yeah.
Now with where we are now and how far away it is, it's still the same thing, burnout. And definitely also like our end goal is not to be there 24/7. Our end goal is to have locals that are going to be running everything up there. And then we can move on to a different village and try to start the same thing with having healthcare and, all the kids programs and stuff like that. Also, meds are just so much cheaper in the city. Community. We need our community, and we have a church family here.
If we
Absolutely
were in
insane.
the middle of the jungle without community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though we have a house up there, and that's where we stay for the week or a couple days that we're up there at a time, the neighbor kids are there 24/7. Like there is literally no like you get a break. Like all right, clinic's done, we close, that's it. Like you still have the kids there, and
We
just
still get patients.
we still get patients.
We just- random times, whatever they go there, and they just assume because you're there, you can help them no matter what. And I mean, in a way, like I do understand that. And when we are there, we try to, we have seen patients at the middle of the night, sometime in the morning. But if we actually lived there, that wouldn't change. Like people would still be coming and probably even more frequently. And when we were down in Pauline and we lived where we were doing ministry, it just became too much for us. And it wasn't just burnout from ministry, but it was also causing issues in our marriage as well, because we're like either she's stressing too much about something or I'm stressing too much about something. And then, we just have like certain discussions that would probably not, maybe they weren't like a big deal, but then because everyone's just so like burned out with everything, like it could become a big deal, So for us, at least, we have learned that living in the same area where we do ministry is not healthy for us. It's not a good situation. So we have definitely chosen to live closer to the city and everything because of all the things that she's already mentioned, but also for our own sanity.
And it's similar to what you were saying, like you go and they want more. And like we were helping this one little baby who was only born with 10% of her brain, and like first to start out with the medical stuff. And then I was in the States while like the dad kept coming and was like, well, I can't pay my rent, I can't pay the lights, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have groceries. And it's like, where do you draw the line? And it's hard when they're in your face and begging you and crying and giving you puppy eyes, but it's just like, it's also, again, back to when do we say yes, when do we say no, when do we just say, I'm sorry, we've done what we can, and now we need to cut it off. Which sounds mean, but like, that's what you need to do.
It's hard because I feel like that's one of the hardest lessons. It's you need to learn how to say no in ministry. And that's really hard. Like similar to what you guys were saying earlier, like when you tell teams, hey, if you feel compelled to give them groceries or something, do it through us. We always say that also to our teams, but I always make I always throw a disclaimer. You're saying yes and amen right now. Tomorrow, when you see someone really struggling, kids that are dirty, grandmas that are not wearing shoes, I want you to come to me, because then you'll be like, hey, can I give you this? And there's nothing I hate more when people like I remember once we were delivering stoves somewhere. This was with our last ministry, and there was another ministry painting a school. And then one of the moms that knew me went, hey, Hermano Miguel, what do I do with this? And she had like $20. It's like, yeah, US dollars. I was like, where do you get this? Like, I was trying to like give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she found it like in the street. She's like, well, they gave it to me. And I remember Ash had to have me sit down and calm down because I was ready to go yell at someone. It's like, how is this fixing things? In the moment, sure, we're like, well, but she's really struggling. But also she's more than likely in her situation, she's going to struggle tomorrow and the next week and the next month. And we cannot be their saviors. So that's really hard to say no. And also, like you were saying, for your own sanity, for the health of our marriages, like we cannot be everyone's savior. And I think, to me at least, I don't know about you guys, but the hardest part, even harder than saying no, is that you cannot be mad. Because if we were wearing their shoes and I was struggling and I had no money, I will probably also be asking. So it's like, you have empathy. You're annoyed because you are. You're frustrated. But it's like, but I get it. So it's like you have no one to be mad at more than just life. And then you're just carrying that load. So how have you guys figured out ways to like release that you're not God? Because I think that happens to all of us, that I don't think we notice that we're doing that. And at some point, I think the way I described it last year to Ange was like, I think I've been treating God like I'm Batman and he's Robin. And he's there to help me do what I think I'm commissioned to do. Instead of understanding that, if anything, I'm Alfred. So have you guys found ways that help? It will never solve it, but maybe help a little?
I think for us, the way we kind of it's obviously like trial and error, and we're still not clearly perfect at it, but a lot of times it's if we both are kind of thinking if we want to help or not help, or how we want to help the same way, but separately. Like, say, for example, someone comes and is like, oh, I have this tumor and I need this treatment and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, if we both feel compelled to help, then it's like, that's almost like to us, like God saying like, okay, yes. Or if we're not on the same page, then it's like, all right, we need to pray about what we should do, kind of a thing. And I think that's how we've made a lot of decisions and gotten a little better at it. And also talking about it. Because I know I got frustrated a lot when they usually go to him, the language. And so then they're like, oh, we need paint for the school and we need this and we need this and this and this. And meanwhile, we're trying to have a clinic and do all these other things. And it's like, that's great that you want paint for the school, but also like, does that need to come from us? So like, not jumping ahead and saying yes to things without us praying about it and talking about it. I think that has really helped.
And I think that also helps us to not get to a point where we're like frustrated and like angry with ourselves or people, or just trying to be better with communicating. But yeah, one thing that she just mentioned was the fact of like actually like feeling the like in your heart, like being sure that this is what you want to do, or this is where like God is leading you to, and then we talk about it and we share those those thoughts, and we're like, okay, yeah, we are on the same page for this. So that's worked for us, in making those bigger decisions and trying to stay away from just jumping the gun and just doing something and then regretting it afterwards, which is something that I used to do a lot.
Yeah, because you feel
Go ahead. Oh, wow.
Awkward.
So honestly, that's how Columbia started. Is us both separately saying like, oh, we want to send some money to help the couple that is there
Yeah.
that were doing their own thing, and then they ended up being under us. But it was like, you know, they were sharing like, oh yeah, on our like free days we want to help the locals from where we are, because there's a lot of like gang, drugs, prostitution, stuff like that. We want to have like after school programs. And so we both were like, oh, that's cool, like we should start like sending them money. And so like, you know, we both talked about it, and he's like, this is how I feel. I'm like, that's how I feel. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And so that has been like confirmation for us with different things as well, like same with like patients and different projects and
personal life.
Yeah.
It's been like that. Yeah.
houses.
That's awesome.
Houses, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So then what is that like for you guys? Like you have ministry in 2 different countries really right now. Like what is that like for you guys?
Well, it's exciting, but honestly, like it's a little complicated as well, because you know you do, at least for us, you know, we try to pour our hearts into everything, right? And so we want so much more, like not we want so much more, but we would love to be able to help in more ways. And you know, since we're living full time here in Guatemala and we only get to go to Colombia maybe once or twice a year, it's a little hard when you see that they're struggling with certain things and you can't actually be there physically to help them, or to support them, maybe not necessarily like help solve it, but you know, being there to support them. But the one thing that we both have enjoyed is that the times that we have been able to be there, we've been able to spend, you know, like one-on-one time with the staff there, the people there, the people that are being served. And it's just, it's kind of like refreshing to see that, because even though they're part of us, it's a different group of staff, you know, we have 2 leaders there that are basically in charge of everything. So just coming alongside them and seeing how they work, you know, not necessarily saying, okay, what we do in Guatemala is what you have to do there, because it's different country, different culture, different people. And
They
just
have
kind
different
of like,
programs too.
Actually the ministry there is
Mainly musical.
Yeah. So just being able to, you know, walk alongside them and to be able to serve there when we go and just learn from them. You know, that's just been a really nice thing. So now we don't just think of, you know, our ministry as, okay, what we do here in Guatemala, but more of a global kind of a vision per se. And just the main important part and the, you know, what it all comes down to is just sharing the gospel, you know, sharing God and the love of Jesus, and just being able to see how that happens in different ways is the coolest part.
That's awesome. They're going to conquer the world.
Yeah.
One person at a time.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, he has his speech all prepared. Yeah. So I would like to ask, because it's not all struggle. I always say that ministry is the hardest job in the world. I think people do not understand that, but it's also the most rewarding. It's the absolutely best to be able to witness what God does and to be able to say, God did it through me. That's pretty cool. Not for ego, but like it's incredibly special. It's just cool how, I mean, it is and it isn't, but I always tell Ange, our spiritual lives generally are so much farther forward than most people's, just because we are in this day in and day out. Not to say, yeah, I mean, I understand 100% of the Bible. Yeah, I read Revelations and I'm like, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense to you. Right. Yeah, I can tell you what that creature is, but you should figure it out by yourself. But it's just interesting, like to have those experiences with God day in and day out, and to get to see Him and cry with Him alongside of Him. So, what's like a rewarding story for you guys in ministry, like something that you were like, okay, all the struggle, the fundraising, the tears, the frustration, you know what? Right now it's worth it. It doesn't have to be top one, but just one.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's been some of the medical stuff. Maybe that's just my nurse brain, but being able to see, like, say, we've had 2 kids now that have come with broken bones. One was from dropping a motor on her leg, and the other one was falling off a horse while working. And when he got out of the boat and he's like holding his arm and it was literally a Z.
Oh my gosh.
And from like far away, we're like, get back on the boat. We're going somewhere. Not here. And then also, just like some of the patients that we've had. Like, I had this one lady that it broke my heart, and maybe it's because, you know, we also have gone through a miscarriage, but she had a stillborn baby, and, you know, I asked, like, what was his name, and she's like, oh, we don't give names here. Like, if they die right away. And, like, that just, like, broke my heart, you know, and just being able to, like, talk with her and, like, pray with her and stuff. And then our one clinic that we had, I literally felt while we were packing the meds, this is before we had a building up there, so we would, like, go to the villages, we would drag all the meds up there with us, so we just put it down to 3 crates, and that's all we got. And we had a team coming, and I was like, we are not going to have enough meds. Like, I just felt like we weren't going to have enough meds, and I'm like, Lord, you're going to have to multiply it. How many times do you say that, but do you truly believe it can happen?
Yep.
Like, honestly, no. Like,
Yeah.
and so we're at our 3rd clinic where the town thought we meant 150 families, not 150 people.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fun. And so Peter's doing pharmacy, and he's like, we're out of vitamins, we're out of this, we're out of that, like a bunch of stuff. Meanwhile, we had a line going out the door still to be seen. You had a crazy line at pharmacy yet. And every time he stuck his hand in, it was there. He literally multiplied the meds. We had to the last vitamin, like, picked it out, and then last patient, and he looks in, he's like, yep, they're gone.
That's awesome.
So I think just, like, those types of stories, it's like, okay, like, we can keep going. Like, God is with us. We're not just banging our heads against the wall feeling like we're not getting anywhere. So yeah, I think those are, like, the big ones for me.
Yeah, definitely that one clinic day. You know, because you read these stories in books or you hear other people preaching about, you know, similar stories. I personally had never, I've experienced miracles from God in different ways, but never like something so physical. But yeah, I think that every time that we're struggling, whether it's because, you know, we don't have enough funds for the meds or, you know, I kind of remember that day at that clinic and just how every time I would say, this is the last bag, you know, and then the next patient comes up and there's another bag in there. And it's just like, what? It's like so crazy. That has definitely been one of the moments where I, for sure, like 1,000% knew that God was with us and he had our backs. But then also just, I can't specifically say like one other moment, but the moments at least that I've spoken with other people that have, whether it's been directly or indirectly been, you know, touched by the work that we do. Just when they share like their life stories and then how a certain thing, you know, helped them and changed them, and, you know, or when I see or hear people saying or like being more open to, you know, like talking about God and, you know, how they've been experiencing it in their lives, you know, those moments are really the highlights, I would say, of, you know, what we're doing in the struggle, like the everyday struggle, like it's worth it, you know? And then just that also reminds me that, you know, I'm just a regular person, just like everybody else. But the fact that, you know, God has chosen us to be able to do, you know, part of his work is just amazing. And it's rewarding. And it just reminds me that, yeah, I am a regular person, but even in the midst of being just a regular person, you know, God is with you and everything that you do is for his glory. And that just feels so special. You know? Just being just being used by God, you know, that's just amazing in itself. Yeah.
That's awesome. What would you guys tell someone who's thinking about, you know what, I think I want to do medical missions? What would you guys tell to that person who has no experience, is just thinking about it right now?
Pray.
Yeah.
Really pray.
Yeah.
I feel like if you've never done it before, definitely get connected with people that are already here and they do it. And that's not just like a plug for us or whatever, you know, like I'm literally like I had come down and I was helping at a clinic that has been here for 20 plus years. So like I was able to see how it works. Peter had done medical missions before with his dad. And so like he knew that you just go to a pharmacy and you buy whatever meds you want, almost anything you want. And so I'm just like, oh, like I wouldn't think of that. My American brain is like, no, you need a prescription for everything. And then also there's things that you're going to see here that you are not going to see in the States unless somebody had just traveled, like, you know, the whole parasite amoeba situation. And so knowing that there's definitely going to be different things that you have not seen before, and being open to learning about those things as well, I think is a big thing. And not just like, well, this is how we do it in whatever place I was, and this is how we're going to do it forever. Like, you need to be able to adapt.
Yeah.
And then also just knowing how to explain it to patients. Like, the way we have it, we have like the triage section, then they see me or whoever the medical people are. We write down all the meds. They go to pharmacy. So whoever's in pharmacy really needs to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
To be double checking for one, and then also explaining, this is what this med is for, this is how you take it, and this is why you're taking it.
Yeah.
Because we had the experience. The problem is that a lot of these villages, there's a lot of people that can't read or write. And Spanish is not their first language. So where we are, Quechua is the first language. And so we have Quechua translators that help to go from Spanish to Quechua. And then also with the labels, what we're trying to figure out is a way that we can make them more with like images. Because we had the problem of this one mom, the boy had an ear infection, her son, and so she put in these drops because she thought they were ear drops. Well, here they're for warts. And so it like ate away everything inside his ear.
Oh.
And so, I mean, the kid was a total trooper, cleaning out his ear and like getting all the proper meds he needed and stuff. And like, you know, the mom genuinely felt bad. Like,
Yeah,
she
for sure.
thought she was doing the right thing. And so definitely like the education, and then figuring out ways that you can educate in a way that they understand.
Yeah.
Same with diabetics. I can write down on the bag that they're going home with all the things not to eat and all the things that they can eat. But then when they get home, they're going to be like, well, I don't know what that says.
Yeah.
So getting pictures and being like, oh, I should only have one bread today instead of 15. Like, you know, just things like that.
What she said.
Yeah. There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, we're going to start landing soon. I want to know, how do you guys rest? 'Cause
Vacation.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
Yeah.
For us, definitely going away,
yeah.
we have always found helps.
Are you guys beach people, cruise people, lake people?
100% beach.
Hey.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She usually just tags along.
I do like the beach. I hate how hot it is, but at least there's water. And usually a breeze.
Honestly, like any place with water, whether it's like
Yeah.
a river,
lake.
lake, beach, we just like big bodies of water.
Yeah. Because I like cabin in the woods type thing, but yeah, I want water too. So
You're trying to get murdered.
yeah.
You know what's funny? Like I always, I used to see forests and stuff in movies like before going to the States, and I didn't know you guys had bears everywhere. And I would see people like, yeah, we were hiking, we saw a bear. I'm like, what do you mean you saw a bear? Why are you so calm?
Yep.
Like it's just, I don't get it. Like I love bears, clearly, but like I don't want to be near one. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to get mauled by one.
no, especially going to on a hike somewhere where like, yeah, they will walk by you. I'm like, no. Yeah. What are you gonna say?
Our friend from Alaska, she comes down and she tells us all the time, like, oh yeah, we saw this bear and, you know, whatever. Like, it's just like so chilled to them.
Yeah.
But respect, a lot of respect. Not like, oh, I'm going to go, you know, snuggle
like,
with it. Let's take a selfie.
Hey, Yogi, how's it going?
But no, definitely vacation and going away. And I think the big problem that we've had in the past is that, like, you don't just work where you are. And I think that's where what people think a lot is like, oh, well, you know, you go up to Rio and you work, and then what do you do the rest of the time? Like, we get asked that a lot. And it's like,
think every
there's
single
so
person
much
asks
that.
behind the scenes stuff. Even other missionaries have asked us that. And it's just like,
Really?
there's so much behind the scenes things that it's like, we have to do the post, we have to do the newsletter, we have to bag out the meds ahead of time, we have to buy the meds ahead of
We have to
time.
make the list for the meds that we need to buy.
We need to prepare for all the kids' activities, like everything that we're doing. And so, like, there's so much behind the scenes things, way more than like you go up there and clinic's over, and it's like, well, that was fast.
Yeah, it's not like meds and everything is magically like already there when we go. You know,
It's not. No,
it's not.
But man, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, whoever says they're a missionary and asks you that probably shouldn't be, because I was just talking about it with someone. He was very well intentioned. He was like, Miguel, you need to find a way to not think about ministry. I'm like, no. That's the way we're wired, and I think that separates who's called and who is for who this is just like a for whom. So, King for king.
For Ken.
For king. This is their job, and it's a cool thing to do, but it's more like a hero thing. Because I'm like, I don't think I can stop thinking about ministry, or
It's not
it
a
is.
switch you can just turn off.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think people hear ministry and they think, oh yeah, you're 9 to 5, or yeah, going to church. It's like, no. The fact that when I learned about what secondhand trauma was, I was like, yeah, I have that. And if you don't know, secondhand trauma is the trauma that you have because of someone else's trauma. You're just thinking about that all the time, and we live with that. Like it's good and bad. I think it's mostly good because it makes you good at your job, but it is taxing.
Yep.
Yeah. So, man, that sucks that someone asked you that, Peter. I'm sorry. I'm still there. I really got stuck there.
Yeah.
I had a friend come on a short team once, and he came by accident. He was very humble at the end, and I really appreciated this. He said, I have to apologize to you. And I was like, what do you do? What do you break? He was like, I really thought all you guys did was sing songs and work for a couple hours and that's it. And I was like, no, I didn't know how much behind the scenes was. I mean, you guys have been up since 7. It's already 9. I'm like, yeah, shortened teams are like 12, 14-hour days.
Yeah.
Because we have to be ready before you guys get up, and we still have stuff to do before. We have to do damage control after you guys go to sleep and figure out how to fix things.
Yep.
So, yeah. Why did he ask you that? I'm just really stuck there. No, I'm gonna move on. But I'm gonna ask you guys something way lighter, way lighter, and we're gonna start landing there for sure. I'm doing a pastor thing and saying we're almost done, and we're not. So I would like to know, because I think people, again, I this has been really my phrase in the last year. We're not heroes, but we're not victims, like you said. We're just people. So what are 5 things that you guys need every single day that are not spiritual? Like what are 5 physical items that you cannot live without?
Well, I've
this
had
list.
this list for a long time.
Because he forgets things.
Because I forget everything. But every time I walk out of the door from my house, I always say like, okay, my 3 main things are house keys and car keys, phone and wallet. Those are my 3. Everywhere I go, even like if I come, like for example here, before I walk out, I'm like, okay, phone, wallet, keys, I got them.
Yeah.
And then sunglasses, because driving here is crazy. And then 5, usually like a little snack or a drink or coffee or something to go.
What's your favorite snack?
Favorite snack to go, probably just the plain granola bar.
We're boring.
I was gonna say, I always pick Doritos or like Red Hot Cheetos. It was like, you felt the healthiest snack.
Granola bars. What we have around the
That's the only
house.
thing. Usually, like sometimes we go out pretty early, so I don't eat breakfast at the house
You
or
need
something.
protein, yeah.
And so I need something that doesn't hurt my stomach.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, so usually that.
That's how we know we're getting old. It's like, I need to be careful with my stomach.
Before it would have been like,
Bro,
Doritos or something.
like starting a year and a half ago, I had to be careful with what I ate. Before, I always said I had a dog stomach. Now I have an 80-year-old stomach.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah, I had to leave gluten.
Yeah.
And you don't understand the struggle of living gluten in Guatemala.
Yeah.
True.
No, I went to in Coan. You guys know Verapang.
Yes. Yes.
The smell. I was just in
Yep.
Coan last week. I haven't been craving gluten, but I told Ange, if you leave me alone for 5 seconds, I'm gonna buy a whole loaf of bread and just eat it by myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay the
Yeah.
consequences later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So what are 5 things you cannot live without?
I feel like I always grab my purse, which is funny because in the States I never had a purse. Huge tomboy. But so now I guess what's in my purse is my phone, wallet, dairy pills.
For me.
Occasionally I take them too. When I had that cheesecake the other day, I was like, this is going to hate me. I'm going to just take these. I don't even know if it'll help, but whatever.
Yeah.
And what else is in there? Oh, it was basically it.
You
Coins.
have-
I always have the coins.
Yeah, you have the coins. You're the coin lady.
Coin lady.
Yeah,
He's ready to smack someone with your coin back.
I could knock somebody out with some of the coins that I
I
have.
believe you.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, that's fine. It doesn't have to be 5. You can say you have 3 coins there, and that's
Yeah.
5. There you
Yeah.
go.
I want a granola bar because, now
For sure.
I have a princess stomach and,
Princess stomach.
yep.
I'm gonna start saying that for myself. A princess stomach.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you guys, this is the very last question, and then we'll be done. What would you do if you had your pick? Not ministry. What would you do? Any profession. You have your pick.
I would probably be, traveling the world doing photography.
Hey.
That has been my dream job, like, since I can remember.
That's awesome.
And I'll just follow him, see all the cool places.
Your dream job will be to be Peter's puppy.
Or you could be a food connoisseur wherever you go. Just try the food in every country he goes to.
Yeah, as long as it's gluten free and doesn't have peppers and doesn't have this in it. Like I said, princess stomach.
Yeah.
But no, definitely traveling. Obviously going wherever he's going because he goes to the cool places. He always finds he's like, we should go here. Look at these pictures, and I'm like, yeah, our bank account's -50. What are we gonna do?
I know. It's like for
He's like ready to buy like a
To be
plane
fair,
ticket.
he was just saying, go. You could walk. You could sleep on the street.
That is true.
Yeah.
have to visit.
And then I don't know,
Exactly.
like I do still like the medical stuff, so I think it'd be kind of cool just to be able to like volunteer at different like countries and see like how the medical thing is there too for kicks, and then read on the beach.
I always tell Ange that people that do ministry, and again, that is our calling, we will be so great at non-ministry jobs because we are so used to having like care for everyone's feelings. If you gave us a job that involves like, okay, you still have to be efficient, but I have to care for no one, we will get things done. Yeah, it'll be so easy. We will be employee of the month every single month. Yeah. Well, this is Donna and Peter. Yeah, it's always great talking to you guys. Like we've been friends for I don't know how many years now.
Quite a few years.
Yeah, like I remember talking to you guys when we started This Is Vida about, hey, we're feeling the pressure of living in the village. Do you guys live? And I remember talking to you guys about it.
No.
Yeah. And I remember I was saying,
Don't
no, and I was
do
like, I remember telling Ange, see, Donna said it. No, but I always appreciate our friendship. Like I've called you about anxiety and about panic attacks, and you guys have been very helpful. So it's always great to have missionary friends who are also normal people. So thank you guys for being here, and thank you guys for listening and watching and all the things. And we're gonna leave the links below so you guys can follow them and you guys can see who they are, and you guys can also donate if you feel compelled to, or just check them out and promote them if someone's looking for a medical mission organization. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching. Bye, everyone.